Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to 90 Day Fiancé latest news. Liz Woods has always thought of love as great. Though she had seen the highs and lows of relationships, the one with Jason Zuniga seemed different. It became real. Their love was based on the kind of foundation Liz had always imagined. Intense, passionate, and honest. She then considered it. Liz was comfortably seated in her living room drinking coffee and browsing her phone on a calm Saturday afternoon. Imagining the evening they would spend together, she was planning a beautiful night with Jason. But something struck her attention as she turned over her social media feed. A post from a common acquaintance. Liz halted, her heart was pounding. A picture, hazily but clearly identifiable. Jason was laughing and making a private, loving gesture with his hand to another woman. Her breath seized in her throat as she clicked on the picture, as if the surroundings vanished. Her ex-boyfriend was there, brilliant in color, with someone else not her. She knew then. The next several minutes were a whirlwind of texts, pictures, and messages that clearly said Jason had been cheating on her for weeks. With each message Liz scanned through, each one worse than the next, her hands shook. She could see the flirtations, the late-night texts, and the words of endearment Jason had written to the other woman. Every "I miss you" and "can't wait to see you" hit her like a physical blow. When she tried phoning Jason, he did not answer. It made no difference now. Her darkest dread was becoming true. Liz saw herself staring in front of her reflection daze-like. She gazed at her reflection, but she hardly could identify the lady staring back at her. The vivid, self-assured lady she had formerly been was now replaced by someone damaged, someone lost. Though something else lurked deep within, anger, the betrayal had chipped away at her spirit. She couldn't just watch this unfold from there. She had to face the truth and go on to confront him. Jason had to know what he had done to her. A few hours later, Liz was outside a hip cafe, where she and Jason had spent some of their most joyful times. Her heart thumping in her chest, the weight of her obligations sinking in. The cafe door flew open, and Jason was seated sloppily at a table back to her. He looked rather normal, thus unaffected, walking toward Liz. Her mind flew and her steps became more resolute with every one. When she reached the table, she threw her phone down in front of him, the image of him with another woman flashing on the screen. "Jason," she murmured, her voice calm despite the inner turbulence. "Care to clarify this?" Jason looked up, hardly a trace of astonishment in his gaze. He lacked flinching. "It's not what it looks like," he added, as though they were chatting casually. Liz fixed him, incredulity blending with the rage that now drove her. "Not exactly what it looks like. Actually, another way it would look is you accompany her. And I have been here trusting in us, in you." Jason sighed and slanted back in his chair. "Look, Liz, I wanted not to hurt you. I am not happy anymore, though, and I have been trying to tell you. I have also met another person. And, to be honest, perhaps you simply lacked sufficient." She stopped her heart. Though they hung in the air between them, piercing and merciless, his just-spoken words didn't even sound real. She had expected wrath, sorrow, even uncertainty, but this icy indifference from Jason was something she never imagined. "You are telling me this right now?" Whispering, Liz's voice quivering with the weight of his treachery. "You couldn't even be upfront with me before. You had to cheat and separate me in order to at last tell me the truth?" Jason showed no flinch at all. "Liz, I wanted not to offend you, but it was certain. I have affection for someone else." The words come to Liz like a tidal wave. She had loved him, had believed they were building a future together. And here he was, casually destroying everything they had with a few careless words. "I don't even know who you are anymore," she mumbled, her throat thick with sorrow. Jason shrugged just once. "I'm bad, Liz. Nothing else comes to me to say." Without further word, Jason got up and left the cafe, leaving Liz alone with her broken heart and the traces of a love she believed would last always. Her mind whirling, she watched him go. She realized at that instant Jason wasn't worth her suffering, even though she wanted to hunt him down, yell at him, demand explanations. Not worth her tears was he. She left. Liz was numb back at home, sitting in her living room. Her phone blipped nonstop with alerts. She was welcomed with an avalanche of fresh messages instead of the hoped-for quiet. As she glanced at the screen, her stomach churned. More photos. Additional books. Leaked to the public, her illicit photographs were shocking. Every picture caught moments of her most vulnerable self. Liz's stomach flipped. She sensed exposed and violated. She had always valued her privacy, but now everything she cherished was freely there for everyone to view. She hurriedly phoned Megan, her best friend, and she got right back. "Liz, I looked at the pictures. Are you okay?" Megan's voice carried a lot of worry. "No, Megan, I'm not okay," Liz said, her voice breaking. "Jason undertook this. He passed the pictures to someone. He wants to wreck everything I have worked for." Megan started speaking with great intensity. "Liz, you cannot allow him triumph. You have more strength than this. We are going to rebel back. You are not on your own." But Liz couldn't get rid of the sense of betrayal that stayed in her gut, even as Megan offered her support. It was the brutality of it all, not only the cheating. Jason had gone out of his way to publicly embarrass her, therefore hurting her not only emotionally. Days went by while Liz worked to gather the bits of her broken life. She was no more the lady who would shrink in the face of treachery, though. Liz resolved herself to grab hold. She was not going to allow Jason or anybody else write her story. She went on a well-known talk show to squarely handle the situation. As she walked inside the studio, cameras flashed and the audience murmured with expectancy. Liz sat calmly in front of the host, her eyes ablaze with resolve. "Liz, we have all seen the photos and heard the stories. How are you doing?" the host said softly. Liz inhaled deeply, her posture correcting. "I'm holding back as I want to let this not define me. I have been wounded, really. I was let down. I will not allow that, though, break me. Jason did. What he tried to do to me, it is not who I am. I will not let the deeds of others to saps my strength." The viewers started to applaud. As Liz went on, "I'm not the first person to go through something like this, and I won't be the last." Her voice rang out powerful, relentless. "Know this to anybody who has been wounded, betrayed, or humiliated. You are deserving of love, of respect, and of a future free from definition based on the actions of others." Liz sensed fresh strength developing inside her as she spoke. She was speaking for all the ladies who had suffered, for all the people who had gone through tragedy and dared not let it define them, not only for herself. Jason was seated at a pub observing the TV screen, show the interview in progress. The woman he left behind was today a beacon of resiliency and fortitude. Once she had given him everything, the woman was now flourishing without him. Jason's friend, someone he had assumed would be the solution to his woes, stood up as the interview concluded, her face a mask of irritation. "You've chosen, Jason," she remarked coldly, "but expect me not to stay." As Jason watched her go, he became aware of the severity of his errors for the first time. Still, by then it was too late. Liz had come on. Months later, Liz was not just surviving but flourishing. She started a profitable new company, reflecting her strength and autonomy. Surrounded by friends, relatives, and the encouragement of those who really loved her, Liz had created something fresh, something greater. She cut the ribbon at the grand opening, the past at last behind her smiling. This was only getting started. Though she had experienced heartache and treachery, she had come out stronger than ever. For Liz Woods, the narrative ceased to center the man who had shattered her heart. It was about the woman who had discovered her strength, restored her life, and demonstrated that nobody could seize her authority. And on Jason? He was a distant recollection, one that had drifted into the past where it belonged. This gossip is over. If you liked the video, then give your opinion in the comment box and stay with us by subscribing the channel. Thank you.